college, a time of learning and growth. The question, people of this world, what was your welcome to college moment? Okay, welcome to the student debt-fueled apocalypse.
Ask Reddit, but every answer gets worse. My first class, a 300-person lecture. The professor walked in, dropped a stack of papers a foot high on the desk, and said, "This is your required reading for the semester. Don't fall behind. I don't accept late work for any reason, including death." Then he just walked out. And there it is. The academic gauntlet has been thrown. That wasn't a syllabus. That was a declaration of war against your social life, your mental health, and your will to live. Not accepting late work for death is the most beautifully terrifying policy I've ever heard. This professor didn't just teach a class, he cultivated a garden of suffering, and you were the first seeds to be planted. Welcome to the Thunderdome, kids.
Went to do my first load of laundry. The washing machine was filled with what I can only describe as a communal batch of ramen noodles. Someone had cooked their dinner in the washer. There was a single lonely meatball sitting on top of the machine.
Why the heck is there communal batch of ramen in a washing machine? This isn't just a college moment. This is the birth of a new plague. This is how you create a super virus with a vague chicken-flavored broth. And the single meatball, the lonely meatball of despair. What kind of broke culinary deviant looks at a Maytag and thinks, you know what this needs? Soup. This is a level of chaotic evil that I can't even begin to process. I hope they used fabric softener.
I saw a guy sitting under a tree having a very intense one-sided debate with a squirrel. He was quoting Plato at it. The squirrel was just eating an acorn. The guy got frustrated, yelled, "You're just not getting it, Alan," and stormed off. I think he named the squirrel. This is what college is supposed to be. This is what you pay $100,000 for. Not the classes, not the degree, but the freedom to have a full-blown philosophical breakdown and scream at a rodent about epistemology. He named the squirrel Alan. That's not insanity, that's commitment to the bit. That squirrel probably knows more about Plato's Republic than I do. This is a man on the edge of a brilliant discovery, and only the squirrels are listening.
My entire dorm hallway was filled with lime green jello, from the floor to about 6 inches up the wall. Someone had made a catastrophic amount of it in a kiddie pool, and it had spilled everywhere. You had to wade through it. For 2 days, the whole floor smelled like artificial lime and regret.
You can't fight it. You can't reason with it. You just have to wade through the shimmering, jiggly abyss of your own poor life choices. And the RA's reaction? Again? This implies the existence of a Jell-O-based serial offender, a gelatinous menace who stalks the halls of higher education. This isn't a prank, it's a recurring natural disaster, and the students are the doomed inhabitants of Pompeii.
My roommate didn't use an alarm clock. Instead, he had a trumpet. At 6 a.m. every morning, he would stand in the middle of our tiny room in his underwear and play a terrible off-key rendition of Reveille. When I begged him to stop, he said it built character for both of us. Every morning at 6 a.m. in his underwear? This isn't an alarm clock. It's a goddamn war crime. It's a violation of the Geneva Convention of Roommate Etiquette. It built character. Yeah, the character of a man who now has severe PTSD and a lifelong vendetta against brass instruments.
I'm surprised this didn't end with a trumpet being violently inserted somewhere it was not designed to go. This is how supervillains are made.
The girl who lived across the hall was a bio major. We all thought she had a pet rat. One night, her door was open and I saw it. It wasn't a pet. It was the dissected rat from her anatomy lab, which she had sewn back together and kept on her desk as a study buddy. It wore a tiny hat.
Frankenrat? She didn't have a pet. She had a goddamn science experiment with a hat. She looked at a dissected corpse, a casualty of her own academic pursuits, and thought, you know what? I can rebuild him. This is some Herbert West level of madness. And the little hat. The hat is the detail that pushes this from creepy to a full-blown psychological horror film. She wasn't just studying biology, she was playing God, and her roommate was a reanimated monster.
I walked into the 24-hour library during finals week at 3 a.m. It looked like a cult ritual. Dozens of students were arranged in a perfect circle on the floor, humming in unison. In the center of the circle was a single, unopened textbook. They weren't reading it, they were trying to absorb its knowledge through osmosis and collective willpower.
Osmosis? They've abandoned the conventional methods of learning. They've rejected reading. They have ascended to a higher plane of academic desperation. This isn't a study group. It's a hive mind, a psychic collective trying to download knowledge directly from the source code of the universe, which is apparently hidden in a single unopened textbook. This is the future. This is evolution. Forget Quizlet. We're humming our way to a 4.0 GPA.
Our school's mascot was a dignified peregrine falcon. Our rival's was a goofy gopher. Someone stole their gopher costume, and in response, they kidnapped our dean of admissions. They sent a ransom video. The gopher demanded a public apology and a lifetime supply of hot dogs. The administration actually paid it. I watched our dean get traded for a man in a gopher suit.
A hostage exchange, a dean for a gopher. This is the greatest story in the history of academia. This wasn't a crime, it was international diplomacy. They valued a human life at a pallet of processed meat tubes. This is what your tuition pays for, people. Not knowledge, not networking, but the funding for Black Ops mascot rescue missions. Now I need to know, what is the most unhinged thing you ever witnessed on a college campus? Let the Student Council of Chaos know in the comments, and subscribe. And maybe take a gap year. Or a gap decade.